What's the lowest you've been, and how did you mentally kick out of it?
Thought that was pretty intriguing.
Brian chose that?
What's that?
I'm surprised you chose that, Brian. Getting deep here.
Change it up. I also saw all yours in the chat, so I couldn't double up.
I almost picked this. And I almost picked Broski's.
I guess my advice to this is like my lowest I'd been would probably be like 2013 and 14 when WWE like just flat out wouldn't book me but wouldn't fire me either, and I was just kind of like, there was nothing for me to do. Right, you're contracted to WWE. I couldn't, we didn't have this podcast for an escape. Really nothing. I did start Create Pro in that time to kind of occupy myself a little bit, and that's a place where I found happiness in the distraction, kind of similar to what he's saying that our podcast has been for him. But ultimately, and it's like, I don't know how Broski and I were wise enough to see this because we were so young, but early in our WWE careers, we saw so many people get let go and then just like kind of forgotten about because they sat around feeling sorry for yourself. And that's the just the story. Nothing is going to get accomplished sitting around feeling sorry for yourself. You got to get over it and move on and make things happen yourself, And that's I just knew, once I finally got that call and I was fired, it was like, let's fucking go. I'm not going to sit around here and mope or whatever. I got shit to do and shit to get done. And
reinvented yourself as a pro wrestler's wrestler, instead of just being like WWE job guy.
Right. And at that time I had seen people with far better runs than I had, just disappear because they just sat around feeling sorry for themselves. It's just like.
Right.
I guess my answer, similar time period actually, is after the YouTube show kind of ends and I'm doing nothing. I've already been pushed off the stage in the wheelchair. So now I'm just like, okay, now what? Now I don't have the YouTube show anymore. I'm just kind of there. This is 2013, 14, beginning of 15. And I'm like trying everything. I'm like, this one I have the Bradley Cooper hair, like the long ties. Just like Brian said, like I'm still getting brought. I'm still doing stuff. I'm still working. But it's just like, what is going on here? It's fucking miserable, bitter. I'm blaming other people. Like if you would have asked me then, I would have said, yeah, WWE buried me for getting over on my own. If you ask me now, I have a totally different mindset on that, where I like to just take accountability and put all the blame on myself. And I don't even know how I decided to think like this because I'm not a naturally positive person, but I thought, okay, there's so much here in WWE that I can't control. Well, what can I control? I talk about this all the time when I talk to like indie wrestlers, like what can I control? Let's focus on that. And in WWE, in my opinion, at that time, for someone like me, the only things I could control were my gear, my physique, and my attitude. It might sound crazy. It might sound like, well, those are meaningless things, but I had 100% control over those things and put my best into all of them. And whether it be a coincidence or not, once I don't want to say mastered, but once I worked my ass off at all three of those things started to quickly change, where I went from absolutely doing nothing to winning the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania. And then that mindset's always kind of stuck with me since then, like control what you can control. But now on the flip side, on the indies, I control fucking everything. So even at the end of WWE, when Brian and I weren't doing much, after we already won and lost the tag team titles, all right, we could pitch ideas all day. We were pitching like the Gratitude Era, blah, blah, blah.
Still did, yeah.
Yeah. But it's like you can only control what you can control. So we always had good gear. We found the podcast. Even before that with Figure It Out. And we were trying to make the most of all the opportunities. But when things weren't going our way, all right, fuck. I can't just do a live run-in on Raw. I'm not used. Okay, let's focus on the podcast tonight. So I'd focus on the things I could control. But now outside WWE, I control everything. So my brain just doesn't fucking stop, whether it be podcast related, toy line related, wrestling related. It just doesn't stop because, I'm trying to control everything because being independent, everything is controllable.
Back then, after you did the gym and ate right and ordered your gear, did you feel like you had like more free time? You were just kind of chilling and.
Well, it's just that, I was taking my miserable like attitude from work. I was bringing it home where I was just like miserable and fucking bummed out at home.
Yeah.
And just being miserable and sending out these fucking passive aggressive tweets and just being negative. Like it wasn't changing my spot on the show, and it wasn't making me happier. So fuck this poor me mentality and attitude. Like, what can I change?
Yeah.
You know, but even like I said, when Brian and I weren't being used, okay, like, all right, I know I've done everything I possibly can. I pitched ideas, look great, I have this gear. All right, well, I can't fucking change the show, so I can't fucking be miserable about it at home. And luckily, we found the podcast and found something else to put our passion and attention to. So that would be like my advice is like wherever you are, whatever job you have, like what things can you control, and try to control them to the best of your abilities.
And work hard to make a change. You know, nothing's going to come easy.
So I graduated college in 2005, and I got a job right out of college in the basement of a hospital. I've mentioned this before. And at the time, it was great. I was making real money for the first time in my life, full-time job money or whatever. But I thought, like, okay, stepping stone. I ended up staying there for 3 years. I couldn't get a job anywhere. Nobody could even call me back for my degree, like production, things like that. Like I was stuck. I started to get like more depressed. Like I'm just working in the basement of a hospital and I cannot leave this job. And then my dad passed away at the end of 2007. I quit wrestling completely. And that was like the lowest. I had no wrestling. Went to work every day. I gained a lot of weight. Went to work every day in the job that I didn't like and had no prospects. And I had to like shake myself out of it. And I don't know, like my wife helped me out. It wasn't my wife at the time, but she helped me out, just like be more positive and start taking a more proactive step. Like, what do you want to do? How do you get that done? And then go do it. And when my mind switched and I started applying to grad schools, I decided I wanted to go to grad school and do film in grad school, even though I wasn't accepted. The day my mind switched, this is my direction, this is where I'm going, I was happy again. My life was better. There was no guarantee I was even going to get into a grad school.
But you had focus.
Yes, a goal, a direction, a thing to work towards. It changed my mindset, and then everything fell into place years later. But anyway, so that's my advice: how to get out of it. Like pick a goal and work towards it. Great
question, deep question. This could be a YouTube clip, I think.
Yeah. All right. What's with your pockets out? What's your lowest?
Join the community at MajorMarks.com and get access to exclusive content, behind-the-scenes footage, and become a member of the Major family.
You get bonus episodes on our careers, wrestling figure history, and exclusive interviews with our friends and legends in the business each month.
You also get early access to YouTube videos and, of course, the weekly podcast ad-free and breaking news updates.
Brand new shows featuring...
oh, baby.
And you. Each month, you can interview someone in the wrestling business with a captain's log.
Also, buy, sell, and trade in our exclusive Facebook community where people have become friends in real life.
Certain memberships include merch like monthly trading cards and quarterly mystery gifts.
Become a Major Mark and join MajorMarks.com today.